waterfalls. No, no, no. Keep the faith, you'll have it all. Slow, slow, slow. Listen to the rivers and the streams that you're used to. Welcome to episode 27 of My Views Extended. I'm your host, Nadia, and thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you are a new listener, thank you so much for checking me out. And if you are a return listener, thank you so much for coming back. I would love it if you would leave a comment, a like, and definitely share this episode. The more people that listen, the more feedback I can get and the more interaction I can make with everyone out there. These are my views of our world, and I definitely love to hear everyone else's views on our world. Aside from this podcast, you can learn more about me on my blog at nadiadanella.com, where I post on Mondays, which is Wordless Monday, and that is through photographs. Wednesdays is How's It Going Wednesday, where I share what's been happening in parts of my world, any activities that I participated in, or anything interesting that I saw. Fridays is where I focus on various recipes, reviews, and DIYs. You can also keep up with me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And as always, I will leave links to all social media sites in the show notes at nadiadanelle.com. Some updates this week. And unfortunately, this is not a good update, but, well, I guess it can be. There's definitely, hopefully, going to be some resolution in the Tim Bosma murder trial in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Tim Bosma was murdered by two people after going for a test drive in a vehicle that they wanted to purchase, a vehicle of his, and he was murdered. And yeah, it wasn't a good thing. I don't really want to go over the details. So it's been 4.5 months, and the jury has finally begun deliberation. Tim Bosma, he was murdered in 2013, May 6, 2013, and his murder, he left behind a wife and a daughter, and of course parents, siblings, and friends and people in the community. So far, the two people, and I'm purposely not saying their names because I don't believe that we need to put a name to people who do such heinous acts. They have both pleaded not guilty in this trial. The jury has been instructed by Justice Andrew Goodman that, and I will just quote some things, "You shall not internalize the victimization of this crime in the evidence, and the only way jurors can find these two people guilty of first-degree murder is if the Crown had successfully proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Bosma's death was planned and deliberate, and the jury cannot return a verdict of first-degree murder by virtue of the two accused unlawfully confining Tim Bosma." So now we, the public and the family and friends, we have to wait for the jury to make their judgment. We don't know if it's going to be over days or weeks. Just praying that these two people will be found guilty and put away for the remainder of their miserable, disgusting lives. And while Tim Bosma's family will never be the same, hopefully they'll get some peace knowing that these two people are put away and are serving somewhat of a justice for taking away their family member. And this, I'll leave a link to the cbc.ca news story, and you can, if you want to learn more about what happened and how the trial's been going along, you just put in Tim Bosma and you'll be able to find a little more of a backstory of how it came to be. I just wanted to take a minute to, unfortunately, talk about the mass murder shooting in Orlando, Florida this weekend. 49 people were killed and 53 people were wounded when this shooting was done by an American-born Muslim man. And who knows if the number will rise over the coming days and weeks. I believe that some of the doctors who have been treating them said, unfortunately, it's likely that it will rise. I guess a lot of people are in critical condition, and unfortunately, we don't know how, or rather, you know how things in people are, even in serious condition, whether it's critical or serious, how things can change overnight and people can pass away suddenly from their injuries. But hopefully we don't have any more deaths because of this. This is now the deadliest mass shooting in US history. Wow, it's just really sad. The shooting was done by this man, and the only reason I said American-born Muslim man, it kind of makes a difference, but it doesn't make a difference, because to me, Muslim and terrorists, they're two different things. They're terrorists of anything, whether you're religious or not religious. A terrorist is a terrorist. He just happens to be come from a Muslim background, and he did an act of terror. That's what I feel. I'm not arguing about that. Yeah, he was a terrorist. I don't really like saying, because I don't know personally. I have not met any Muslims who were terrorists. I mean, I guess that they wouldn't tell me, but I've only met peaceful ones and friends, family, and I have a personal history with a religion, so I don't hang around terrorists. I don't hang around people who have such extreme thinking. So I don't know. He was a terrorist. Let's just leave it at that. There are terrorists around the world. It's just troubling, and it's sad, that people can't even go out and enjoy themselves. It was Saturday night, and they were going out to enjoy themselves on the weekend. I'm assuming, like most of us, if you're into the club thing, into the club scene, you're going out to enjoy yourselves and let loose from a hard week and kind of to relax again for the new week coming. You just wanted to go to the club, have fun, and just like that, 49 people to date anyways are gone because someone did not approve of how people were just living their lives. Who asked him to go into the club? I think his father has spoken in the news and said something about he had been mad because, I don't know if it was weeks or months or whatever. I don't really care how long it was. Earlier, he was mad because he had seen two men kissing in the street. And what does it have to do with you? If you don't like to see two men or women kissing on the street, turn away. If you don't want to see it, that's fine. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. I can't make people agree with other people's lifestyle, living their lives. But to plan this because you don't agree with somebody's life, it's really not that difficult. Nobody's asking you to participate. Nobody's asking you to watch it. Move on. You have nothing else in your life going on to sit there and you see it. You see two people kissing and it's stewing and it's boiling and your blood is boiling and you're planning this. You don't have anything else going on in your life. If you don't like something, okay, I don't like it. Dump it out of your head and move on. But this fool chose to end people's lives, destroy families because he felt like playing God. Who gave him the right to decide when these people's lives were over? And in cases like these, I know that the law enforcement had no choice because I believe in the process, he had taken people hostage and he was still killing people. So they had no choice but to take him out because he was still killing people. But at the same time, I wish that they had taken him alive, so we would have to face up to these consequences so we could actually know why he chose to do this, not just from interviews with his father, interviews with his ex-wife, or interviews with his neighbors or his co-workers. When law enforcement take out these murderers and terrorists and whatever, I just wish they would take them alive so we can find out. I mean, I guess even if they did take him alive and he didn't have to talk. They can't force him to talk. But I just wish that, if they were in a position to take him without him continuing to take lives, I wish that they had done it, but it's too late. I guess we can't wish, it's done. And I just hope that there's healing, and I don't know, where do you begin to heal? That's so many people that have lost loved ones, friends, family, co-workers. Where do you begin? What do you do? I don't know. I just pray for the people who have been lost and pray for their families that every day it gets a little easier for them. Anyway, on to other news. I found an interesting story on cbc.ca news, and it's about amateur video makers, specifically homemade viral video makers, and how they can make money by working with certain media companies. And this was of interest to me because I am on a few platforms, an online creator with my blog and podcast and my videos, cooking videos that I'm going to be putting up soon, and my other writing things that are not online currently. But yeah, I was interested because, as an online creator, while I have no desire to make a viral video, at least on purpose. I mean, I don't know, most viral videos are not done on purpose. They just happen to be at the right thing at the right time or whatever. I want to make consistent, great material that I can make a living with, right? So this article is basically about media companies offering homemade creators shared fees that, and I'll quote, get collected when marketers broadcast broadcasters and other websites pay to use the material. So they'd share, the media company and their creator would share a fee. And what that fee is percentage wise varies across depending on which media company you're working with in the contract that you signed, which you need to get a lawyer for if you're going to start signing contracts. I don't care how little it is, you should have a lawyer look it over, even if it costs, I'm not even talking about fees because that varies depending on country, but definitely once you start signing contracts, have a lawyer look it over, or at very least a paralegal if you can't afford a lawyer right away. Anyway, with these media companies, the unfortunate thing is many of these companies do not, I've noticed myself and what they spoke about in the articles, many of the companies do not give credit where credit is due. Like they'll use the viral video and not say who the creator was. And of course, if you don't give credit where credit is due, the revenue that they make, that the media people make, whether it's a television show or radio show, they are not giving the creator their share of the revenue that they receive. And of course, it's not all bad news. Many of the creators are successful from their viral video and their collaboration with the media company, and they go on to have successful business, whether it's a one-time thing or a long-term business contract association with them. Many creators, like I said, do not, or many just have, one-hit wonder. And I'm kind of working it out in my own mind. I just don't know what to think about it. It's a new terrain, the online world and making your living online. It's hard to know who to trust and who not to trust. And I've heard of a lot of horror stories, but I've also seen a lot of huge successes. Like, for example, I'll use Maker Studio in the US, and they were started by a few YouTubers and a couple other people in the media field, and they were bought out by Disney. And so that's definitely a success. And I've heard they seem to treat their clients well, but who knows? I'm not behind the scenes of this company. I'm still, like many other creators, still trying to figure this whole thing out: who to work with, who not to work with, contracts, legal things, sponsorships, brand deals, all that stuff. I'm going to keep sharing this with everybody because I had and continue to have questions about this new world of business, and I know I'm not the only one. So as I have questions, I will bring them up here, and as I know things and learn things, I will continue to bring them up here. I don't want to hide the difficulties or the successes of the online world, because I think the more people that do it, we have to be a little more transparent in what is going on. Not that you have to share your entire life or look at my bank account, but just to share the trials and tribulations of making our way through this whole online world. So viral videos, you get your 15 minutes of fame, and that's good enough for some, or hopefully that 15 minutes of fame leads people back to what you've been creating for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and they're like, oh, this person is interesting and has something to say, let me keep checking them out in whatever platform that is, whether it's YouTube videos or a blog or a podcast, whatever they're doing. Viral videos can be good, can lead to other things, or can propel you to the next level that you need to get your business on track and making a living. And that is, again, from cbc.ca.news. I don't know if anybody's heard of this show. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few countries that have this show. The Canadian Border Agency has stopped production of the reality TV show Border Security, and quite frankly, I'm surprised that it took as long as it did. Apparently, the Federal Privacy Commissioner found the agency violated the rights of a construction worker filmed during a raid in Vancouver. Yeah, have any of you seen that show, Border Security? I think there's one for the United States. I don't know if there's one for Mexico. I can't remember. There's one for Australia. A few other countries. I don't know if they're all ongoing still or if they have run their course. Yeah, just from watching those various shows, they seem to violate all sorts of rights. I don't know. But what gets me about this show and the variations of the show is that people actually sign off to have their faces and their stories shown on television in the first place. I don't even want my blurred out face or my changed voice making it onto the show at all. And I know that around town, especially living in the Vancouver area, you see all kinds of signs that say filming is taking place today. But that does not mean that I give that show permission to use me on their show, especially, I mean, not just walking by. If you're walking by or in the background or something, I guess you can't really do much about it, but to have a film crew right up in your face as you're getting all these questions done and your suitcase is being gone through, or if you have to get an interview done or something like that, that doesn't give them permission to do that, blurred out or not. Especially if I'm going through security, for example, and I can't pick and choose a lineup. I just have to go where they tell me to go. I don't want to be on TV. Not that I'm doing anything illegal, but I don't want to be, but I have no desire to be on any reality show, especially ones where for ratings, they hope to catch people being ignorant, stupid, or doing illegal activities. It's all about ratings. Have any of you ever seen any other versions of the show, or the Canadian version of Border Security? The Australian Border Patrol, or Border Security, I don't know what it's called, if it's different or not. That one is brutal. They are rough. They sit there and they're like, we'll give you a chance to think up a reason and give us an answer that'll make us let you stay in the country. All the while they have no intention of letting the people stay in the country. All of a sudden they come back, well, you have to leave and you may not come back for the next 5 years, 7 years, or ever. The Australian Border Security is brutal, but the people, they try and they take so many chances. And it's like, I always wonder, it's like, are you ignorant? You just didn't know, you didn't read, or but you're just I'm gonna try my luck anyways and hope I get through. I don't know. I guess every show has its season, and I guess this is more than enough. But I always said, if I'm at the airport, no, I'm just gonna don't even ask me with a camera. I'm just gonna shake my head. Nope, don't even bother. I don't want to be in there. I don't want my voice. Blur me out if you can't take me out of the scene. I don't want to be there. Get your camera away from me. Try somebody else. So yeah, goodbye Border Security, the Canadian version. This week, what I am grateful for this week. I guess it would have to be this weekend. I'm grateful that I went out this weekend. I guess I'll call it my monthly social outing. Monthly is good enough. I have no desire to go out every weekend. I had a really good time. I went out to the Sapperton Day Street Festival with some friends, and I had a really good time, but I was ready for a nap, my heating pad for my back, and my liniment for my joints, and Netflix by the end of it, which I did, by the way, old lady style, and I have no shame, because if I had shame, I wouldn't be sharing it. Yeah, this street festival, it was okay, but definitely the company was better. I really enjoyed just going out and talking and laughing and just people watching. We did a lot of people watching and a lot of dog walking, and so friends and spending time with them was definitely the main point and the main thrill of the day for me. And I still need to make some of the bigger Vancouver markets. I hear there's a lot more variations with them. I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head, but there are some big ones where they're like huge, like something like 300 vendors, including food trucks. So yeah, these ones that I've been to are definitely smaller, but yeah, I want to go to a big one. If I'm going to be up and on my feet for hours, I want it to be like a lot of stuff, almost like overwhelmingly. There's so many things to look at. That's almost how I want it to be. But yeah, I was disappointed with the food trucks. I think there was like six or seven I counted, and I did get to try some, what were they? Oh, mini donuts. They were good, but they taste better, of course, hot. And then I got this really yummy, it was so refreshing, lemonade. And so it was a lemonade, and then if you wanted to, you could add some flavor shots of different lime, strawberry, cherry, and a few other ones. And it was just refreshing because, you're thirsty and it's kind of warm and you're walking, so it was just refreshing. So I guess for the festival part itself, probably the other, aside from the company, was the lemonade and the dog watching. And it's actually pretty funny, mostly dog. I saw one cat that was in an open carriage, pet carriage thing, I don't know what the heck you call it, and he was just lounging on his side, just taking in the world, like just chilling, just people watching himself. I guess it was so cute. He was just so calm. Like if that was my cat, she would have been freaking out, like, oh my god, all these people. He was just calm as can be. And then this other lady, she had her dog, she had it in a front carrier facing out, and he had on a jacket, which he was a little breed, and he had a jacket on, which I was like, if he's on your body, he doesn't need a jacket. And he had sunglasses in the goggle form, and his 4 legs sticking straight out. I was like, oh boy. I thought I babied my cat. I was like, lady, put the dog on the ground. Like, unless the dog is super, super old and has arthritis or it's disabled, all 4 feet should be on the ground. Walk the dog. That's all I'm saying. Let the dog walk. But yeah, I'm grateful that I went out and enjoyed myself on my monthly outing. And that'll be it until next month, maybe, because it's getting hotter. And I don't enjoy myself in the middle of the day when it's 35 degrees Celsius. No, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to episode 27 of My Views Extended. I would love to hear feedback and comments on what you think of this podcast and the topics that I've discussed this week. You can listen to My Views Extended at nadiadanelle.com and YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, rate, and or leave a comment. The closed captioning is back, so you can read on YouTube or go to nadiadanelle.com for the full transcripts. I will leave links in the show notes, and as more listening platforms are added or changed, I will let you know. Till next time, this is Nadia.
I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. I'ma be happy. Get that understood. Get that understood.
I'ma be alright. I'ma be okay. Any minute I'ma be stacking chips so high, so Pringle free, so lazy. We don't need no architect for our marketing. I could be all up on Wall Street with Parker Monopoly making. So know if your spot is left vacant, it's gotta be taken. Anyway, boo, since we done with that prelude, let me put you up on some philosophy. Professor Hayduk would not even say to you. I like how that smile that you're making, creating the world that's around you ain't great to you. Did you know that? Girl, your hair's so long that you grow that. Quarterback that back, baby, throw that. Once I put some ice on your hand like I broke that. Hold that. That's the whole word in your hands, grow that. That's the same word that you made in your head when you laid in your bed waiting for me to roll that. I mean, write this psychic you are a creator, you is. Yell out your blessings and wait on your gifts. Stardust will harbor the carbon you give. So I'ma be happy cause I'ma still live.
I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. I'ma be happy. Get that understood. Get that understood.
My heart's been torn into pieces. My pride's been crushed and ego's been diminished. My life's been tossed to the floor, to the ceiling, up and down like I live on a coaster, but still I say love keeps lifting me higher and higher. So with every hit I take, I get stronger. I can go a little bit longer, make room for the infinite incident. Bounce it back, a hash attack. You better know who you dealing with. Feeling as if I was meant for this, finish this, sure I will. Quit killing this, sure I won't. I got 4 sisters, 1 brother, 1 dad, 1 mother, whole family to feed. It's a must I blow, must I go hard on stage and walk like God, cause good Lord knows that I ain't get to walk on graduation day. So every stage I grace, I walk like I ain't never walked before. And I speak like I done talked to God before. And I think like I done been let down before. But I smile like he done turned it around before. Like I ain't never had to frown before, and you know that.
I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. I'ma be happy. Get that understood. Get that understood.
Speak into the atmosphere. 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 Speak into the atmosphere.
I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Yeah, get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. I'ma be good. I'ma be happy. I'ma be happy. Get that understood. I'ma be I'ma be good. I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. Get that understood.